Hey everybody, kind of in the studio here getting ready for the W&L show, and so I thought while I was here I'd go ahead and try to cut Friday's news and try to get ahead of the game a little bit. Oh, I'll tell you a little story. I got a phone call from John Rohan himself. I think he was a little miffed at me. Remember, I've had this argument about outside people using our restrooms and everything at our neighborhood pools. Now, for you new home buyers down here, you need to know what I'm going to tell you exactly what he told me. I'm not sure I fall for any of this because I had a lot of questions. There's a reason why I didn't really ask him a lot of questions, and I'll explain that right now. He calls me, and right away, from what I'm hearing, he's yelling at me, saying that I said something about him not doing his job, and I did. I sent him an email saying that I didn't think he was doing his job correctly, and my big complaint is still outside people, landscapers and everybody else, using our neighborhood pool as a public restroom. And it happens in everybody's neighborhood. They may not realize it, but it does. And we're paying the amenity fees and all the maintenance fees and everything to take care of this stuff. Supposedly our neighborhood or our district owns that pool, I guess. I don't even know how all that legal stuff works, but all I know is I haven't used that pool in well over 2 years because I'm tired of it. And it just gets to the point after a while, because I'm not sure why I stay here, because I'm not using these things anymore like I used to, because of a lot of the problems that's around here that they constantly refuse to talk about or look at. So he calls me up, and right away he starts kind of yelling at me, and I'm sitting here, and so I'm trying to get a word in edgewise. He tries to overtalk me on the phone all the time, and so I'm getting my point across about it. So he starts talking to me about somebody's charging like an $80 for what they call a non-residence fee and all this and that. That wasn't me. I have no idea where he got that. Now, it might have been on my news, and I may have read it on my news on last Friday. I don't remember, because once I do the news and I cut it and I put it out there, I move on to something else, and that's out of my mind. So I might have said something, or I might have read the report about that. I might have made a comment saying that if that's going on, that's wrong. I've never heard of it, and I haven't heard of it. But I do know what happens is, and this is typical, this is the way it's always been, if you own a home and you want to rent that home out, for a period of time, you can do so. But if the person wants to have resident rights, you have to relinquish, as the homeowner, your resident rights. And to do that, it's a $50 charge. That's the transferring charge. And you got to fill the paperwork out, the new homeowner's name, what home are they going to occupy, the address, and the dates they're going to be here. And then their resident rights ends on that last date and automatically transfers, I think, back to the homeowner. So that's the $50 charge. And if you're going to rent a home out, that's what you should do. A lot of people cheat the system. Along with the picture ID on the non-resident card or the visitor pass, it says right on there you're supposed to have that accompanied with a picture ID so they know who that is. But what a lot of them will do is the homeowner will say, I could get you a resident pass or I can get you a visitor's pass, and they tell them. The visitor's pass will get you anywhere you want to go, and it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost them anything to start with unless the homeowner charges back to the renters that amount of money, which I would never do. I did this all the time, and I've never done that. Why would you charge somebody $3,000 or $4,000 a month for a house and then nickel dime them to death with a $50 charge? I mean, I just think that's petty. So I never did. I just gave it to them. So anyway, the non-resident passes, they give them to them with dates on it, say for a month or 2 months, however long it's going to be for that period of time. These people will go to the pool and they show them the visitor's pass. And in most cases, the person that's got the card reader, making sure who's in there is supposed to be in there, they will tell them, say, well, you're supposed to have a picture ID along with this pass. And sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. Most of the time they don't, and they never really enforce that. In my mind, if you don't have the ID, we warn you today. If I come here tomorrow and see you, you better have that picture ID. I'd do it in a nice way, or you're out of here, and tell them they got to go. But they never do that. And they also got this stupid rule that if you jump in the pool, they can't ask you for anything. So, if you're not supposed to be there to start with, if you're in the pool, they won't ask you anything. They say they're not allowed to. I don't know what law that is. That's a made-up law. You can't ask him. I don't get any of that. So here's what he says about the restrooms. I think I've told you before. They always point you a different direction. Go here. No, go that guy. I can't do anything. My hands are clean. I can't do nothing. He said that The people that work for the villages doing landscaping are told not to go to these pools. There's a lot of places they can go, and if you've ever been here, all the country clubs are open to the public. Huge parking lot. They can go there for a restroom. They can go to all the public restrooms we have around here. There's all kinds of places to go, but you don't need to go to the neighborhood restrooms and track crap in there. And I've seen people walk through there smoking. You're not allowed to do that. I've seen them walk through there with mud on their shoes. We're paying to keep this stuff clean. They don't care. And when they go in there, they got these huge trailers. Sometimes these guys will park one right next to the other, and they're blocking the whole parking lot. So I asked about that. I'll get into this. So anyway, he says about the restrooms, he said they've been designated. I don't know who designated them. He said they've been designated as public restrooms. He said, so legally, there's nothing I can do. He said, I can't force them to leave. He said, now the villages, people that work for the villages know not to go in there. He said, who's going in there? He says, the people you are hiring to mow your grass and do your yard work. He said, what people need to do is tell their landscapers, don't go to our restrooms up here at the pool, because if I see you up there, then I'm not going to let you do this work. I'm going to hire somebody else. In other words, I guess it's our fault. We have to start policing our stuff that we pay them to police. This is the argument I get into, because it just drives me nuts. And this is what I've seen over the years. This isn't something we actually discussed on the phone, but these are things in my mind I wanted to discuss and wanted to bring. But keep in mind, Rohan's yelling on the phone. I hear echoing in the background, so right away my suspicious mind starts twirling. I'm wondering if the phone call's being recorded. I did not ask, but I took appropriate measures real quick. And then I'm also wondering, has he got people sitting in there listening to this conversation as a witness for something going on that I don't know about? So I took measures real quick, and what I done was, I think was simple. I just quit arguing with him. I just stopped. And then he got telling everything. He said, so do we understand? I said, yeah. He said, okay. He said, so you got any questions? I said, no. And he said, okay. And that was it. I hung up on him. He hung up on me, and that was the end of it. Just know that they won't do anything if you have a serious problem. They have every excuse in the world of why they can't do it. And he kept saying, legally, I can't ask him to not use that pool. Legally. He used that word several times. Legally, I can't ask him not to go in there. Legally, I can't make him leave. Legally. What law is that? Is there some law that says you can't stop somebody from going into a private bathroom area? I don't know. If that's true, then I'm going to go down to the developer's office and I'm going to use this bathroom. Because legally, I don't think they can stop me. Right? Is that what they're saying? A gourmet restaurant chain has announced plans for a location in the villages. Primo Hoagies is a casual restaurant known for high-quality meats and cheeses piled high on freshly baked rolls. The company announced Monday that it has signed 18 new franchise agreements to open locations across 4 states: Colorado, Florida, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. A golf cart was snatched from Publix at Southern Trace Plaza in the villages. The red 2007 Yamaha golf cart, and it had a serial number, was stolen Sunday afternoon from the parking lot by 2 men, according to the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. They arrived in a 2004 to 2011 white or silver Nissan Pathfinder with a red trailer attached to the vehicle. The passenger exited the vehicle, climbed into the golf cart, and both vehicles left the scene together. One of the suspects was caught on surveillance. Anyone with information on this case, please contact Detective Bininger of the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. Yeah, that happens. When you see a truck or a car or whatever pulling a trailer with 2 or 3 golf carts on the back of it, you just assume, and probably you'll be right, that it's a golf cart repair company. They do that here a lot. If you hire an outside company to take care of your golf cart, they come in with a trailer, they pick it up, they take it back to their shop, they fix it, and then they'll bring it back to you. So you see that a lot. But how do you know that every one of them is a repair service? I've always told Sue that. I said, when I see a golf cart going down the road on the back of a trailer, I look at it and I go, how do I know that guy ain't stealing that golf cart? And it's just a good question. You don't. They don't have any rules or regulations around here about signage. You know, that most good companies will have a sign for free advertisement, really, on the side of their vehicle. When they come and pick your golf cart up, they will have a sign on their vehicle advertising who they are and their phone number. But there are so many of them around here that don't put signage on their vehicles at all. And so you look at those with a suspicious eye. A villager is serving 10 days in jail after he was caught earlier this year riding a scooter near the busiest gate in the villages. Thomas McVeigh, 50, who lives at 1404 Azteca Loop, was sentenced Tuesday in Sumter County Court. He was immediately booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. He was riding a green scooter at 12:43 p.m. June 1st on County Road 466 near the intersection of Morris Boulevard when a Sumter County Sheriff's deputy noticed that the scooter's license plate had expired on 2020. The deputy initiated a traffic stop in the parking lot of Hope Lutheran Church. A check revealed that McVeigh has been classified as a habitual offender and his driver's license has been suspended for 60 months. The Rhode Island native has had multiple arrests for driving while license suspended, most recently in 2019 in the villages. He was also arrested in 2017 when he was spotted driving a golf cart on the historic side of the villages. He was also arrested 2014 after residents' complaints prompted a raid on the historic side of the villages. Oh man, this guy's a real winner, ain't he? A villager has been banned from a swimming pool after a political argument with a fellow resident. The village's district office has confirmed that Village of Hadley resident Ed McGinty has been banned from his neighborhood swimming pool. McGinty has long been a controversial force in the villages. He has prompted hoots and horn honking whenever he has permanently displayed his golf cart, always awash with signs with provocative charges against former President Trump. A villager said she went to the Hadley pool wearing a t-shirt proclaiming Joe Biden sucks. McGinty, who was at the pool with his golf cart, allegedly called the woman a pig. An argument ensued that reportedly included plenty of vulgarity coming from McGinty. Sumter County Sheriff's deputies were called to the pool and spoke to the woman and 6 other witnesses. The decision was made to have McGinty trespassed from the pool. McGinty apparently hasn't given up his crusade. His golf cart, adorned with political signs, was spotted Friday afternoon at the Mallory Square pool. McGinty and his golf cart has been a steady source of controversy here in Florida's friendliest hometown. Oh gosh, this guy, and if it's the guy I'm thinking of, there's another report. I'll see if I get it on this news here. If this is the same guy, he got arrested because he'd been following this woman around that he argued with to other places. He kept showing up. And so now he was arrested and put in jail for, I can't remember what it's called now. But anyway, I'll see. Here's the good one. A villager was arrested after allegedly throwing a mechanical massager at his wife. Carl Herbert Gabriel Jr., 60, of the village of Dunedin, was taken into custody on a charge of domestic battery at 11:48 a.m. Thursday, according to an arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. Gabriel and his wife had been involved in a verbal argument when the 6-footer allegedly threw the mechanical massager at her, striking her in the right side of the forehead. She had a bruise on the right side of her forehead. The Trenton, New Jersey native was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center, where he was initially held without bond. Enough said. A villager's homeowner's insurance company has indicated it will not pay to defend a villager accused of pointing a gun at his neighbor. Huh. I would never even give that a thought. Interesting. Carl Joseph Inazo, 65, who lives in a rat villas in the village of Myatt Grove, is accused of pointing a Ruger .380 caliber LCP at his neighbor's chest and stomach on March 7th, according to the arrest report from Wildwood Police Department. Inazo said he and his wife had been riding motorcycles on Henry Loop when he stopped to pick up trash. He said Timothy Ballinger, who also lives at Retta Villas, drove up in a golf cart and made hand gestures, flipped him off. Lanazo admitted he pulled out his gun and pointed it at Bellinger. Incriminating. Inazo claimed he pulled his firearm because he was in fear of the victim's size and reputation. The officer wrote in the report Lanazo is facing a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He has pleaded not guilty in the case and remains free on a $2,000 bond. A convicted rapist is due in court this week after allegedly exposing himself at a Publix grocery store in the Villages. John Allen Pace, 59, of Inverness, was being held without bond at the Sumter County Detention Center on a charge of indecent exposure. He was arrested last year after allegedly exposing himself at the Publix at Southern Trace Plaza. He was standing outside his truck with his pants unzipped, his penis hanging out of his pants, and masturbating, according to an arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. Pace got in his truck and drove away, but was pulled over and taken into custody at a nearby Arby's restaurant. There were 3 witnesses who completed sworn statements for law enforcement. All 3 positively identified Pace as the man they saw masturbating in the parking lot. They must recognize his penis. Pace has 3 previous arrests in Sumter County for indecent exposure. In 2016, he was convicted of lewd and lascivious battery on a victim between the ages of 12 and 16 in Citrus County. He was convicted of felony rape in 1985 in Indiana. Oh my God, he's a fellow Hoosier. He was convicted of rape a second time in 1991, also in Indiana. Pace has been free on bond, but in June, a judge ordered him to be taken into custody. He was booked September 17th at the jail. Pace is due to appear Thursday morning in Sumter County Court. I guess my thing about a lot of these, not just this guy, but a lot of them, after a lengthy report of doing the same things over and over again, obviously they haven't learned a thing. They don't care. They're snubbing their nose at law. Why is he still out? You can say, well, it's a victimless crime. This guy don't have a victimless crime at all. He should be in jail. I don't want to say throw away the key. That sounds a bit rough to me for a lot of these things, but he needs to get a hard lesson somehow. He needs to go to jail and be forced to go in some kind of counseling, treatment, something, and can't come out of jail until he completes all that. And he has to know the difference between right and wrong. Either that or this guy is big time into drugs. I'm looking at his picture. You'll get his picture. You can look at this guy. If I saw this guy in a grocery store, I'd tell Sue, let's go to the next aisle. This guy looks like a nut. I mean, the people and what they do to their hair, what they do to their face, the tattoos and all that, they're painting a picture of themselves to you in this world. And I look at this guy and I go, nut. That's the first thing that comes to mind. He's crazy. Stay away from this guy. The son of a couple in the Villages has been sentenced in a pair of criminal cases. Alexander Bartell, 32, who has been living with his parents at 3031 Hicks Place in the village of Fenney, was placed on probation for 3 years after pleading no contest to charges of grand theft and burglary last week in Sumter County Court. Bartell was arrested April 17th at his parents' home in connection with the allegedly burglary of a local storage unit. While he was free on bond in that case, the Utica, New York native was arrested after defying an injunction for protection against domestic violence, which had been obtained by a woman in Maricopa County, Arizona, home of the best sheriff in America. He's not there anymore. He's old and retired, but what a guy. I had a chance to talk to that guy once. By accident. I talked to him for a little while. I liked him. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I do. I liked him. The woman who has a child with Bartell, good pick by the way, told Sumter County Sheriff's deputies she and the child have been staying with Bartell as a family unit. Means they're not married, they're just shacking up, right? And have been staying with Bartell as a family unit in violation of a court order. So she broke the law, he broke the law for about a month. The arrest report said, however, she showed deputies items of her clothing and the child's clothing with cut marks caused by Bartell. She also showed them text messages Bartell had sent to her. He served 13 days in jail after that arrest. He was sentenced to time served after pleading no contest to a charge of violating a court order. Ladies, girls I'm talking about, pick them well. Your life and your child's life will depend on it. Here's a letter to the editor. Recently, I read this article on Nextdoor. A person in Colony Pool said they did not live in the Villages but paid $80 and have a non-resident pass. This is the thing I read. This is not true. It ain't $80. It's somebody that rents a home. It's a $50 transfer fee. That's what it is. So this whole item, I'm not going to read it because the whole thing is debunked. There's a lot of rumors around here that's been debunked, but people get a hold of these rumors that live in Indiana, New York, Pennsylvania, whatever, and they tell their father, their sister, their brother, and they tell other people, and it just runs wild. But we that live here know Those rumors are not true. They've been debunked, and nobody will listen. Okay. What was that guy's name that went after that lady with the Biden t-shirt on? You remember? Ed McGinty? Yeah, here it is. This is the name. Same guy. And arrest report, this is like 3 or 4 days later. An arrest report is shedding light on details of an incident at a swimming pool and a villager's subsequent arrest on a stalking charge. Ed McGinty, 73, of the village of Hadley, remains free on $5,000 bond following his arrest Friday night by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies on charge of stalking. Deputies had been called Thursday to the Hadley pool where a woman wearing a t-shirt proclaiming Joe Biden sucks. I'm sorry. I don't know why people would wear that. You can have the opinion, but you know by wearing that, you are enticing an argument, a problem sooner or later. You just know you are. Anyway, the t-shirt proclaiming Joe Biden sucks had gotten into the water for her regular daily exercise. McGinney called the woman a fat slob and told her that working out in the pool would do her no good, according to the arrest report. He called her white trash and ordered her to remove the t-shirt which she was wearing over a bathing suit. I'm not sticking up for what she's wearing, but let me just put a little note here if I can. In the state of Florida, especially in the summer months, when the sun's out at its hottest and the rays are the strongest, it's not unusual for people, and I did it, to wear a t-shirt in the pool. And that's permissible here. Just make sure it isn't that kind of material, I suppose, that bleeds. I don't know what does. I don't do that, but whatever. I wear like just a regular white t-shirt because it kind of helps protect you against the sun rays, skin cancer, and so on and so forth. That's why they do that. Whether it says Biden sucks on it or not, I suppose that's your decision, but Oh, gosh. She tried to ignore McGinty, a well-known anti-Trump activist who began taking pictures of her with a cell phone. The village's district government had McGinty legally banned from the pool. McGinty showed up multiple times Friday afternoon at the woman's residence. He was arrested on a charge of stalking. He is due for arraignment on the charge October 13th in Sumter County's court. Dude, and you've been doing this for a while. People are ignoring you. You're just stirring up hate. And you're not doing your political party, and I'm not talking politics, you're not doing them any favor either, because I think a lot of people that might be Democrats would be ashamed of you. I would. I'd say don't judge the rest of us on that guy. I hate to see that at 73. I mean, this is your golden years, man. Enjoy yourself. Go golf. Go to the pool. Swim. Have a drink with that lady at the pool. Talk to her about why you believe what you believe, and let her talk to you about why she believes what she believes. Exchange ideas. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that, but to name call and cuss and curse and all that kind of thing. Listen, you're not at the bar with your buddies, and I know how guys are when you get with your buddies sometimes. I'm a trucker, I know, but when you're talking with ladies, my grandfather never used foul language around children or ladies. He said you should always treat a lady like a lady, and so to this day, I shouldn't say that. I generally curb my language a lot. 100% around children. I just don't do it. Around women, 99% of the time. I think it just depends on how that woman's acting toward me, is what might be said. But cool, man. 73. How many more years do you think you got left? And this is all you got to do? Come on. Grow up a little bit. I'd like to get to know you, but not this way. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here, and my final word is, don't leave your keys in the golf cart.